Hello, so welcome back. We are going to work on the Falcon again. This will be part 2. Today we're going to see if we can figure out what kind of engine and transmission are in this. I did a little bit of research this morning and it seems like it might be a 289 or a 302. They're kind of hard to tell. You really have to pull some things apart to find out. So we got the car up on jack stands. We're going to start pulling some parts off and see what we can see. So, Logan, do you have anything you want to add?
Take off these wheels.
Yeah, we're going to take the wheels off. We'll take a look at the brakes and everything. We'll get the drums off and see if the brakes are any good. And if they are good, maybe we'll just reuse them for a little while until we find some disc brakes.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get started. So this is the tool for the lug nuts. Come on over.
Okay.
So basically it's the same as the one with the screwdriver end. You just put your socket on here, right? You got your forward, you got your reverse, right? So just jam that on there, take off all 5, and then when you get the wheel loose, let me know, I'll take it off for you.
Okay. I'm gonna get some stuff for this.
Good idea. Logan, take the wheels off. I'm just taking the fuel lines off. The carburetor has to come off because it's just so corroded that it's not going to work. So I'm going to take it off and soak it and see if we can get it working at least a little bit.
Well, this thing's heavy.
Yeah.
Got one off.
There you go. Yeah, just make sure I'm piling up in one pile. Ugh. Here, check this out. The gas is so old and deteriorated that I took the fuel line off. Can you see that? That's just a little piece of dried gas. How nasty that looks. So that's all inside the carburetor. So it's definitely gonna need some work before it ever works again. Getting it, dude?
Yeah, something's going on. It keeps on crackling.
Well, hey, that's how it works.
Oh.
It's called an impact. So what happens is it makes a bunch of impacts to try and get the lug nuts off. So just hold it until it just lets go. There you go.
Oh God, this thing's heavy. It's hurting my back. Okay, next tire.
Well, no, we can take it off first.
Oh yeah.
So, I'll teach you something. Put that down since it's heavy. There you go. So when you're gonna take a wheel or tire off, the best way to do it is to get underneath of it, put your legs on the tire, and then squeeze with these muscles. And what it does, it picks it up, and then with your arms, you can just pull. And it just comes right off. You wanna try it?
No thanks.
Get in here and try it.
Okay, fine.
Here, we don't need these. Yeah. Squeeze. Squeeze the tire with your legs. Yeah, pick it up. There you go. Now pull. That's all right. At least you know the technique.
Oh.
All right, so we got one off. So these are Lifesaver BF Goodrich tubeless GR6014s. 6 plies of rayon, and the sidewall has 2 plies of rayon. I don't think they use rayon on tires anymore. Yeah, the brakes are kind of iffy looking. So I think so if you look here, there's a line that's been cut. This was power steering, which is why I was confused why there was power steering in here, but no actual pump. I think someone cut the lines, took the power steering pump off, and it still works as a manual. So we'll have to see what we can do to convert it to full manual, because I don't really think it needs power steering.
Can I start on this one?
Yeah, man, go ahead. That didn't sound good.
This thing just fell off.
What fell off?
I was doing it and then that just flipping.
flipping. Does our camera helper want to say hi?
Does she?
No.
Oh. What? It keeps on falling off.
Okay. Just put it back on. So interesting, someone would put a 289 in here, but leave a 2-barrel carburetor. Which makes me wonder if it actually is 289. I mean, that would be super cool, but no bolt in that valve cover. I want to take the valve covers off too. See what we can see in there. Oh, that was a glove, I promise. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I did here. Took off the carb, and it's cleaner than I thought it would be. I mean, it obviously had some really nasty gas in it, but the butterflies seem to actuate. I'll show you here. Somewhat freely, so there might be hope for this thing, which would be cool because I don't have a 4-barrel carburetor and I don't have a 4-barrel intake, so those would have to be purchased. But I'm going to show you down in the intake. Of course, I can't see, but maybe you can. A little rusty, a little dirty, but you know, it's there.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Say hi, low.
Do you feel powerful?
Well, yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm not a weakling. Definitely not a weakling.
Why is it so far away? Come on, let go.
Die, mosquito.
Are you using the impact to kill a mosquito?
Yeah. Okay, all the wheels are off.
No, they're not.
Well, yeah, they're done. They're just not off.
Get them off.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What do you think you're out here for? What am I paying you for?
Oh yeah, and we might have a bonus today. We might have a bonus. We might work on the go-kart.
What? How important is this hose? I guess I could just cut it. It's gonna be replaced anyways. Alright, let's just cut it. What if there's roller rockers?
Excuse me. Okay, excuse me.
Sweet using a hose. You're gonna hit yourself in the face.
This part we're gonna have to lift up because that is stuck in there.
You might be right. Scoot over. Typical. That's okay. We'll leave it for now. We'll leave it backwards.
The other one, that one. Yeah, same on this side.
Okay, so what you could do is try and get this drum off. Probably the best thing you could do, take this hammer and just hit it a few times. And then try and pull. I don't think that's going to work. We have to find a bolt to screw into there. What it'll do is it'll separate the whole thing out. But just give it a few whacks with a hammer. See if you can not hit yourself in the face. Hey, buddy. You got that a little hard. It's not a Pokemon, that's for sure. About ready to lose those long sleeves?
Yeah.
Just make sure you only hit the drum, okay?
Okay.
What are you laughing about?
I have the power! Oh, that's for all you 1986 people from He-Man. Get it? No.
Valve cover's coming off. Ready? Oh well, could be worse. So let's see what we see. Let me get this light here. Oh, they definitely use Pennzoil. Ooh, that shit's nasty. Hold on.
Think we get one side of
It's not that thick. Looks like it's a lot thicker. She definitely got some sludge though.
Wait, how come it's only one?
So, I mean, the good news is all the push rods are in it. The springs are all one piece. The springs are green. I'll have to look that up and see if that's anything in particular. What does it say? Genuine Mr. Gasket. Ooh. But, you know, that's good news so far. That's a possible running engine. Let me see that hammer real quick. Can't hit those, but all the valves are free, so that's good. Yeah, it may run one day. Cool. So we'll take off the other one. I'll just set it back on there just so I don't get shit down in it. But I should probably stop saying that word since this video is approved for children. Hey, let's stop hitting stuff. Give me the hammer. Give me the hammer. Just give me the... I need you to write valve cover on here. Okay.
Okay.
And then when you're done, you can put all these in there. How's that doing? This. Very interested. Wow. Wow, look at him go.
Say hi. Oh, and Mommy, you're holding it backwards.
Let's try it again. Boy, he got you good, didn't he?
Can I out the camera for a second?
You're not done, dork.
If you guys want to see a face reveal, like and subscribe.
What?
If they want to see my face for real, they have to like and subscribe.
No, face
Oh.
reveal.
Oh, reveal.
Mommy,
You mean
reveal.
Reveal.
Yeah.
I'm cutting all that out, right?
It looks like a T. I don't know.
So, once I get all the valve covers off, I just want to see how everything looks. And give you a nice preliminary idea of what's going on inside the engine. Once that's done, I'm going to see if I can figure out if the starter's wired up. We're going to drain all the fluids, and then I'm going to try and just turn it over with the starter. I'll have to go grab a battery. But if I can get it to turn over with the starter, then we can do a compression test, see how compression looks like, and see if this thing will actually live one day. Logan, underneath the engine is the oil pan. It's a big white thing. What I need you to do is figure out a wrench that fits on the drain plug. Come here, I'll show you, which is the thing I'm talking about. So, this is the oil pan, okay? This thing right here is what's left of a drain plug. So just figure out what socket or wrench fits on that, okay?
Okay.
All right.
This looks like it could fit. Ew, that's really oily.
Too big?
Yeah.
Okay, so what size is that?
That's a 7-8.
7/8. Okay, hold on. This is SAE. This is the American standard. This is everybody else. Okay, these are metric. See how easy these are to read? What's that say?
18 millimeter.
Right. So this car is an American car. Uses all these. Some of this stuff will fit, but try and use this stuff. Okay, so these are also the same. See how they have fractions on them? 5/8. If that's 7/8 and this is 5/8, which one's bigger? What do you think?
That.
7/8, very good, very good. So anyway, start from this and then try and work your way smaller. What I would do, since you're kind of just learning, look at how big this is and just see if you can find something smaller than that physically.
Oh, I'll try.
Was I doing? Oh, since he's not working on anything, I'm gonna take his valve cover off. Hey. Nothing broke. Actually looks pretty clean. That one's been off recently.
Dude, that's cool.
Interesting.
Best next way that I can.
Yeah. Seem to be free. Okay, cool. Button it back up. All right, so let's get to the starter. All right, did you figure out the drain plug?
7 and 8. This is the 3 and 4. I'll show you the 3 and 4. This one seems, yeah, it fits. I got one. It's a 3. It's a 3/4.
3/4.
Yeah.
Or 3/4. All right, let me see it.
Okay, there you go.
Fits perfect. Okay, so we need a drain bucket. All right, Logan, we got a drain pan. I'm gonna let you do this. I'm gonna get it loose for you. Okay? I would probably recommend you do it from over here, but wait till I move. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep unscrewing this, right? It goes this way, counterclockwise.
Yeah.
Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty, all that. So once it's loose, it's gonna want to start coming out. And then depending on how much is in here, I have no idea. There may be a lot, okay? So when it comes out, it could come out like all the way over here. It could come out like right here, and it could come straight down. So keep that in mind. Here's this, it's already loose. You can use either end, the open end. That's the open end, see, right, because it's open. And that's a box end. Nope, it's not one of those. They don't. You have to take it off and keep going. Use the other end, buddy. It'll be faster.
Okay.
There you go. Struggle Street.
Got him. My arm's hurt, so I can't really do this.
In the toolbox up there, see if you can find a 3/4 that has one of those little ratchety ends on it. That'll help it go faster. And then, hey, while you're over there, throw me a long screwdriver in the bottom right.
Okay.
I'm gonna get some of these spider webs out of the way so we can see. That is a giant starter. Must be the original. Ooh. Walnut. Okay, we have this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep unscrewing it until it comes out, and then you're gonna take it out. Don't let it fall in here because you have to dig it out if you do. And then you're gonna try and catch all the fluid, okay?
Okay.
Of which it looks like there is some.
Oh my god, I feel like this is just gonna spark.
You got gloves on, you're fine. Be quick. Don't drop it. Look at that. So why is it red?
I have no idea.
It's red because we put a bunch of transmission fluid in it. Cool. Thank you. Those chunks. So the nice thing here is if all the oil is not in here, right? If this was empty, the last person that worked on it, all this fluid in here will help break that stuff up and it'll come out. And what we can do is once all the fluid's out, we can look and see if there's metal in it. Because if there's metal in it, then that means the engine's no good.
Okay.
Possibly no good. Man, this stuff is rusty under here. So you're supposed to be able to see. Oh, there's a casting number right there. And that looks like a CO5. I'll have to look this up, but that's good news.
Hammer time.
Oop, watch out for the dust bunnies. So they have this flexible exhaust on here that's just literally sitting on the exhaust pipe. So it should just come right out, but I think it's wedged. It's got a wedgie. I don't think this clamp is doing anything, but I'm still gonna take it off. Because science.
I think it's probably nice to do this for now.
Man, I'm almost positive this is an FMX transmission, which... Oh, Logan.
Yeah.
There's a magnet in the toolbox. If this is an FMX transmission, the case will be cast iron, and these end pieces are aluminum, right? Not magnetic, not magnetic. Oh, yeah. Sticking right to it. Okay, so FMX transmission, not a bad thing to have. Basically, in between a C4 and a C6, we're gonna take the exhaust off, And once the exhaust's off, I should be able to see better above the starter. I can get the stamping number, which I think has a 5 in it. And if it does, then that means it's 289. So give me a few and we will figure it out. Someday. Logan.
Yeah.
Crowbar?
Yep.
Oh. Oh, we got a mouse house. Great. Use the oil paint as leverage. Hey!
I got it.
One side. Really, that's the only side I need, but...
That sounds like a brush.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're not going to use this anyways. This car's going to get a new exhaust. Okay. Logan.
Yeah.
Take this very carefully and just set it in the trash.
Okay.
Very filthy. I'm liking this exhaust arrangement though. Just open pipe. We got 2 bolts. Damn, this starter's haggard. Okay, let me get a ratchet. Where are the money now?
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
There it is. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, that's fine. Oh, let's see. Okay, so I looked above the starter. I took the starter out just to be sure that I got the numbers right. If you can see that. That is a C90-6015-B5. My dad was the guy that knew all the stuff about Fords, and if he saw this, he would probably say, well, obviously that's so-and-so engine, but I didn't know. So I looked up that number, and it is a 351 Windsor that obviously took the place of the 260, which is funny because I was curious when I was taking out this spark plug. If you look here, look how close the exhaust manifold is to the shock tower. I mean, you can barely get a piece of paper through there. That was an indicator to me that something was going on. I didn't know if maybe the engine mounts were bad or something and it was just sitting down. But I think that because it's a 351, it's wider. And, you know, obviously this engine bay wasn't designed for it. But a 351 is awesome news. That really is probably the best news we could have got. So an FMX Trans and a 351, I mean, this was a pretty fast little car back when it was running good. But now that changes everything because 351 headers are probably going to be hard to find that fit this. Huh. We'll figure it out. I am looking this up on MustangTech.com. A C90E 6015B is actually a 69 to 70 351 Windsor, potentially out of a Shelby GT350. Let's take the starter off. Oh boy. Ow. Okay. I can't believe it. It says it right there, but I can't believe it. Let's test this starter, see if it works. So we're gonna test the starter, okay? So what we have is we have the positive, red, and the black hooked up to the starter. Okay, so the starter is the ground, that's the black, and the positive is over here hooked up on the only lug on it. These are very simple starters. Let's see how good it is. Let's start. Nice. Great news.
It works.
Now we can...
Test it and get lunch.
I mean, really what we could do is put a bunch of spark plugs in it. I'll squirt some starting fluid in it and just see if it fires off, but we don't have plugs, we don't have probably a good set of wires, etc., etc. But we can put the starter back in, see if the damn thing spins over. I'm good with that. Okay, that's what we'll do. Put the starter back in. just want to get some oil in the engine so when we do the compression test. Second verse, same as the first, only drains on the outside, which sucks, but it's right there. True Lies, right there. Teaching him classical music. Logan!
Yeah.
Look underneath the car, see if the oil is leaking out.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's not, but...
Okay. Is she leaking out? Nope, not yet.
Why did you walk all the way on that side?
Me.
Alright, well we have all the oil I have on hand to put in this thing, in it. So, next thing we gotta do is screw in the compression tester and see if we can get some action here. Okay, so now, compression tester.
Wait, is it just in the picture, or do police cars really, or Lamborghinis that they use?
In Saudi Arabia, they do have nice, expensive cars like that, but it was just a picture.
Oh, okay.
Alright, we got the first one in. Okay. This. There. We're going to do a compression test, and I just need you to keep track. So we're going to have driver side, passenger side. Yeah?
Yeah.
So there's D, and there's a P, and there's going to be 4 on each. Okay, so when I do one of the cylinders, I'm going to tell you what it is. Right, so it's going to be like this, basically. Because this is the passenger side. We're doing this one first. When I tell you what the number is, I just want you to write the number down. Right, so it was like 180, type 180. Let's hope for 180. So. 85. Which,
Okay.
you know, based on the amount of time this thing's been sitting, that's not. It's not great, but not unbelievable. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Fire. Wow, 140.
Cool.
That's not good.
Oh.
No, that's good for this cylinder. It's bad for the first cylinder. Which, it could just need oil in it, but I'm pretty sure I oiled all these. It says 351 right here. It's upside down. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you hear the number?
No.
80.
That was an 80, yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
130.
Cool.
It's actually what I want to do is put some oil in this front cylinder to see if it goes up.
It's gonna be a lot.
That's a lot of oil. That's arguably too much.
Ow!
Okay, so we're gonna retest the first one, Logan. You don't have to write this down, although you probably should.
Okay.
We're just gonna see if it goes up with oil, which can mean rings. Ready, set. 120. The first one was 80, right? Yeah.
85.
So cool. That's good news. So what happens on an engine when it sits for a long time is it doesn't have any oil in the cylinder. That's where the piston goes up and down, right? If you...
That was the word, the piston. When are we gonna get to the piston?
Well, we have to take the engine out. But basically what's going on is when the engine doesn't run for a long time, there's no oil in that cylinder. So the rings, the thing that sit on the outside of the piston, don't have a good sealing surface. So if you put oil in there, that helps them seal, gives you a better compression test, which is what just happened.
Cool.
It is cool. So we'll do the other side.
There's my desk.
Can you see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Just go with let's go with 100. Okay, here we go. 100?
Huh?
100?
Okay.
Good news is we have cylinders with compression.
Woohoo!
Do you know what that means?
What?
We could start this thing. If we had spark plugs and we had wires, which I have wires, but I'd have to make them.
I'm imagining driving this thing now, and the first thing that comes up to my mind is me doing this and then falling straight through the car onto the freeway.
Do you want to know the craziest part?
What?
This car doesn't have seatbelts. 64, they were an option. And legally, I don't have to put seatbelts in this car because they were not required in that year. Ready?
Yep. 100?
Let's call it 115. There we go. Know what that was? Oil pressure.
So what number was it?
130.
Wow.
Well, what we'll do is I'll run it for a little bit just to see if we can get some oil up to the top end. What is really good about that is if you can get oil just sitting on these parts, it'll help it break everything up and it'll help it free up.
Okay.
Okay, compression test done. So I'm just gonna run it for a little bit and just see if the oil comes up. Ready? It sounds like the oil's coming up because I'm hearing it change tone. You just watch this one and see if oil comes out of that push rod hole. So there's a hole right here.
So what was that number?
We're not doing any more tests, buddy.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not actually sure if I can tell or not.
I don't see anything.
Because it looks like it's just kind of moving it.
Yeah, I think it is. That's okay. There's oil in there. I wonder if it's the coolant that I'm hearing instead of oil. That's right. Okay, so the compression test was successful. We found that the driver's side was all over 100. The passenger side was 85, or 80 was the lowest. And then when we added oil, it went up to 125. So probably good compression, which is great. The next step that we can do is kind of just cover the engine back up. The whole thing's gonna come out. We're gonna, take the engine bay down to bare metal and just paint it, just kind of make it look nice. The brake lines are gonna have to be replaced. They're really rusty. They need to go through the wiring to make sure that any of it's even still gonna work. The battery tray is super rusty. There's a few other things that we need to do. So I think for right now, what we'll do is we'll put the covers on, plug the intake, and then we'll start working on the brakes, just get the drums off and just see if if there's any issues there. Because if there is, then that means we'll have to start looking at different brake options. So right now I'm going to use this awesome thing I bought off Amazon. It's got all the different sizes. It helps identifying. There are bolt holes in these drums. At least they're supposed to be threaded. Basically, these holes, you take a bolt and you screw it in, and it's supposed to help separate the drum from the hub, but it's not looking like they're threaded. These aren't threaded, so that's not going to work. We're just going to have to beat on it with a hammer.
Can I do the hammer part?
I've seen you hit it with a hammer, so no.
Aww.
I hit it a little harder
I
than
get
that.
to do the hammer time.
Hammer time.
Hammer time. Oh. That thing is really on there.
That thing is really on there.
Like the center part doesn't come off. It just seems weird that it's not
This
budging at
does.
all.
What? What?
Like this doesn't come off first.
That does come off. But this drum is separate from that. I would not stand there. So, I've been banging on this thing for a while, and it's not budging. We have a lot of PB Blaster, I think that's what we're using. And it's just not moving, and I've already chipped it, so now it's toast. Whatever. But we're gonna use some propane. I have oxyacetylene, which, you know, get a lot hotter, but I'm just gonna heat up around the spindle and just see if I can get this thing to move. So that's what we're doing. Just caked. Wedged off there.
Daddy,
Now's the good time, yes.
your butt is 84. It's a level 84 or whatever. 84.9.
My wife went to get water. I've been here banging on this drum for a while. I just happened to look it up, and contrary to like all the other drums I've ever worked on, it looks like you have to take the cotter pin and nut off this thing before it will come off. What? What?
Like this doesn't come off first.
That does come off, but this drum is separate from that. So most likely I just ruined a drum for no reason, but I'm gonna set you up. Should be able to see from there, and it should just come right off. advice of a guy on YouTube. I cut the pins off the back to hold the actual shoes on.
Yeah.
That was because if the shoes are holding the drum on, then the whole assembly just comes apart. Not a big deal. Well, the problem with that is I looked up 64, 65 Falcon front drums, and everybody says that it's really hard to separate these two, and you have to basically use a press. So what they do is they take the nut off, like you said, and the whole assembly just comes off. Well, now that I've sheared the pins off, the whole assembly wants to come out as one big piece. So, you know. Got it.
When you spend that much time with that thing, dang.
Good time for hushy hushy. Okay, well, the other side should be a little easier. Thumbs up.
It's ham time. Hammer time!
Can you turn the wheel towards me, please? Just notice these dents. Perfect. Stop there. Okay. You have to take this dust cap off, and there's a couple ways you can do that. You can just lightly tap it. This is really way too big of a hammer until you get into the edge. Actually, that was clean it out for you. So you have to get in between the actual brake and this cap. And once you get in between, it'll typically just come right off.
Okay.
There. So what I would do is just maybe use this one or the smaller one, just put it in there and work it this way, twist it back and forth, and it should come right off. You might even grab it with your hand, take it off.
Okay.
And it's going to be real effective at the other time you use one on the opposite side.
Oh, kind of like a clock.
Okay. So take this one, just make sure it's in there and just twist them. So if it's not twisting any more than that, use the bigger one and just kind of go like that, and then turn it and work it, and then turn it and work it, and now it just comes right off.
Oh, okay.
So what I want you to do with that is set it right there, and then if you look inside here, let me get you a rag. If you look inside here, there's a few different parts. Okay, there's what's called a cotter pin. That's this piece with the bent arm here. This piece, that's a pin. Okay, so what you do, you can take your handy little pliers, and grab the end of it. So you want to bend it flat so it can come out. And there's two pieces to it. Okay, you can't see that one very well.
Oh, yeah.
But once you get a hold of it, you bend them so they're easy enough to come out, and then you grab from this side. So there's an O on the other side.
Yeah.
What I like to do is take this tool here, squeeze it kind of tight, not enough to cut it, and just use something to leverage it out. See, what'll happen is it'll straighten these other sides out. Can you see them? Mm-hmm. And then once it's done, it comes all the way out. So you got a nice little cup here to put things in. So now, yep, go ahead and pull that straight off. There you go. No, you need to put it in the cup.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, now take this guy and then just unscrew that. Shouldn't be very tight. And that one actually seems like it's perfectly loose. There you go. Oh. Which way do we go?
This way.
There you go. So you probably don't need the pliers anymore. You just use your fingers.
I think I'm good.
There we go. So now what you do, and this should go a hell of a lot easier for you, is you just take this thing and just wiggle it. And what'll happen is, so there's two bearings. There's a outside race and there's an inside race, and it's called a bearing race. Okay, so when you wiggle this, this front one will come right out. You push it back in. I'm squeezing it like this. And now you can grab those and set them in your little cup here. That's fine. Doesn't fit in there. No biggie. We'll set it over there to the side because we're done taking bearings. Okay, hold on, hot rod. This is gonna be kind of heavy, okay? This is a brake drum. It probably weighs almost as much as that wheel does without the tire. So what I want you to do is I want you to sit on your butt.
Okay.
Right here, right underneath of it, right there. All right, now I want you to just gently pull it back and forth, okay? And at some point, it's just going to come off. Keep her pulling. Keep her pulling. Don't worry about that stuff. Don't worry about that stuff.
Sorry.
So, and if it gets to a point where it's not coming off very easy, turn it 180. So. Alright, so you're basically back to where you were. So, again, it's going to be heavy. So keep pulling and you're going to take it off. It's not super heavy, I just want you to be prepared so you don't drop it on yourself. Back and forth, back and forth. One hand, the other hand, one hand, the other hand. All right, like we're driving a car, okay? Right there, and then just pull it back and forth. Here it comes.
Okay. I don't want to. Oh, I can already feel how heavy it is.
I got it. Now you're gonna hold it, but I'm gonna keep it from falling.
Okay.
It's pretty heavy, huh? I'm gonna let go. You got it?
Yeah.
There you go. So there's the inner bearing, yeah?
Yeah.
And there's a seal there as well. It keeps everything clean. So this is a spindle. This is what everything rides on. Every car has one of these. Okay? And if everything's okay, it looks just like that.
Okay. Means I gotta kill something that looks like that.
All that stuff's dead. So there you go. I got that one off. So the thing to learn here is that these shoes are basically brand new. Okay, there's not a whole lot of wear on these. They have, sometimes they do, they have little rivets on them that you can feel how far it is until they're dead. These are like $7, maybe 10. So we're just gonna put new ones on if we end up going with these brakes. All of this stuff, you really have to like pay attention to. You only do one of these at a time. You never take more than one apart. So there's ones on both sides, right? If you take both apart and you can't figure out how to get back together, you gotta get into a book. If you do one at a time, you can come back to the other side and look at it, okay? So all these springs have to come apart. So these springs here, this spring holds everything tight this way. These springs hold everything tight up. This one holds it tight on the bottom. And then this cable is an adjuster. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. This is another reason why they don't have drum brakes anymore. It's really complicated and it's unnecessary. But the good news is, I mean, these drums and shoes actually look pretty good. But the other side got some pretty bad action, so it'll have to be replaced. Okay, so the only other thing that we could do easily is take the backs off. They should be easier. Should be. So let's see if we can get these wheels off. So the way we're going to do this is you have to jack the body up. So the car is sitting, if you look underneath there, see the jack stand?
Yeah.
The car is sitting on those jack stands. But the problem is, because these fenders come down this far, normal fenders like nowadays, they come all the way up here, so the wheel comes out. So what we have to do is jack the body up so that it gets the weight up so that we can get the wheels out.
Okay.
This is definitely not recommended, but it'll work for a second.
I suggest that none of us put our faces under there because I feel like that's
Really good idea.
the way things look great.
As far as it goes, so if that doesn't work, we'll do it a different way. Not enough. Okay.
Also, kids, do not try this at home. Even though I am a kid, just really don't try it. I'm a straight professional.
Well, this is your training. Ow, that was my toe.
That does not mean anything.
Good news is it spins free. Burp, excuse you. Of course not. careful. I want you to hit right there, okay? Now I'm gonna put my face close, because I have to. All right, hit it. Hit it. Come on, hit it. All right, pull out on this one. Put that down. Just pull out a little bit. Pull.
I see it's burning. I want to burn it so badly.
No. But you guys are having fun.
Wait, we got new seats?
We have some seats. They're not new, but I think they were out of a 66 or 67 Cougar.
Wait, it's still recording? Oh.
That's a little too close, but maybe. No adjustment.
Your foot in the floor.
It's stuck. We're at 99,495 and 3/10. So I'm assuming that's 100,000 miles, but could be 200,000. The radio's been cut, which kind of sucks, but I do have the ashtray. Which, there we go. Some of these move. I'll have to look at the manual to figure out even what they do, because I don't know. I think that's probably fan speed, that's hot, cold. I think there's a speaker in there. I do see a speaker. One center 4x10 probably. We can take that guy out. There's a baby turbo sticker. I guess that means we got to turbo this thing. Tiny little sun visors. I mean, that's just barely enough to cover anything. Oop. But, you know, it's okay. I think this is broken. Yeah. We can take all this trim off. Since it's so pitted, I think we'll just, we'll take it off, sandblast it, and then just paint it like silver or something. I'm not going to try and mess with trying to get it re-chromed. Love this tack though. Love that tack. Have a different one, probably use a different one, but it's cool looking. So yeah, that's it. Oh, done for today. I'll be wearing a different shirt next time you see me, hopefully. Seats are the right height, for sure. At least where they currently are.
If you want to learn about cars and get started on them, check out Car Resurrection and Repair My Car. Those are some pretty cool games. They can really teach you about repairing cars and that kind of stuff.
Are we running ads now? Is that what we're done?
Yeah.
Okay, better get some revenue from this.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah. Also, there's no link in the description.
So today we found out a lot. We found out we have a better engine than we thought we did, which is great. We have a better transmission than we thought we did, which is better. The brakes are in good shape as long as you can get the drums off, which as of yet we got 2 off and one of them ruined in the process. So the rears are soaking. Hopefully we can get those off next time a little easier with, you know, maybe less hammering. But once that's off, probably we'll take the third member out of the differential. It is definitely an 8-inch, not a 9-inch, which is fine. We can drive on that till it breaks. I would probably say we'll take the drums off, take the third member out, and then probably work on taking the motor out. There's so much that needs to be done in the engine bay that it's time. I mean, we got a good compression test. The intake manifold needs to be changed. All the gaskets need to be refreshed. The oil pan's got a huge dent in it. we fix all those things, and then we put the engine back in after it's painted and just start it up. Or put it on engine stand, start it up that way. Who knows? We'll see what we do. But that'll be part 3, and today was pretty awesome. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Got to hit stuff with a hammer. That's always fun. Good workout.
I had a really good time working on this car, and be sure to work on cars and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Until next time.
Thank you. See ya.
A what?
Looks painful. Ooh, look at that matrix move.
Like that? There's bugs in the radiator. Not usually a good sign.
Careful, Logan. If you get cut with a rusty thing, you'll get tetanus.
Hey, Richard.
Don't push it really hard. You're gonna rip the bag. There's a bolt there. Freaking frack. Frick my elbow, shoulder. Oh, gee.
Because at night, it's snaky. Snaky!